world harmony, nature, peace, truth, love, harmony. Focus the nation. Focus the nation. Now.
Well, I'm glad to see so many people out here today. This is a big day in human history. I think we all understand the global warming challenge that we face, although sometimes it's difficult to wake up in the morning and realize that we really collectively are living in a truly historic moment in human history, because the decisions that we are going to make collectively over the next couple of years to either stabilize global warming pollution or not, and also to begin to invest the kind of money that our kids are going to need in the clean technology solutions that they're going to need when they're my age or not, those decisions are going to have profound impacts, not only on our own lives and the lives of our children, but in fact for every human being who will ever walk the face of the planet from now until the end of time. It's sort of mind-boggling to think about what we have to do as a nation, as a community, as a species. That's what Al Gore put it in the newspaper last weekend. Over the next few years. I mean, none of us really asked for this challenge. 20 years ago, I think all of us thought global warming might be a science fiction story, but suddenly here it is in our laps, and history is calling on us to make some pretty big and dramatic changes if we want our children and grandchildren to inherit the kind of earth that they deserve. My name is Eben Goodstein. I'm an economics professor at Lewis and Clark College. And I'm also running a national educational initiative on global warming called Focus the Nation. And what it is a national teach-in scheduled for next January 31st. We'll be coordinating at over 1,000 colleges, universities, high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, a simultaneous one-day educational symposia on the topic of global warming solutions for America. So, thank you. It is exciting. I'm spending 2 years of my life doing this full-time. We have over 500 schools already signed up around the country, as well as not just schools, also churches, synagogues, mosques, civic organizations, so book clubs and bike clubs, garden clubs and Rotary clubs, because it's about education. I mean, it's a time for us all to step up and be leaders and reach out to our community members and bring them in to engage them in that dialogue. But it's also about civic engagement. So Focus the Nation is set for January 31st, which is 2 days after South Carolina and Florida primaries, and 5 days before the big super duper primary on February 5th. And at every Focus Nation site, we'll be asking the teams to invite political leaders at the end of the day to come and sit down in a roundtable dialogue with young people or students or people of faith, and really begin to have a serious dialogue that engages our political leaders in the kind of changes that we need to see over the next couple of years. So Focus the Nation is about education, education in educational institutions, but also in civil society. But it's also about civic engagement. It's about really focusing the energy, because this is happening all over the country, in fact all over the world today. People are educating themselves, they've seen the movie, they're beginning to understand the stakes that we face as a people and also the species on the planet. And so the idea of focus is to take all that energy and all that enthusiasm for clean energy solutions and bring it together on a single day that will really change the tenor of this conversation in America and move us away from where we are right now, which is a fatalism, I think, a recognition that we can't, that this problem is real and serious, but somehow a belief that we can't do anything about it, to really face up to this challenge of our generations and do what it is that Americans do best. And that is solve problems. We can do that if we put our minds to it. So that really is what Focus Nation is about. Our model is another event that happened 35 years ago now. If we think back to the late 1960s, it was a time when environmental awareness was beginning to grow, and people were getting concerned about their local air and water. And on a day in 1970, on April 20th, 20 million Americans came together to celebrate Earth Day. That was the first Earth Day. And it had a galvanizing impact on the country. Within a couple of years, we passed the Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act, and the nation really turned its attention to solving problems and did a pretty good job. Focus the Nation is designed to do the same thing. And many of you participated in Step It Up in April. That event mobilized a couple 100,000 people. For Focus the Nation to be successful, it has to mobilize several million. Several million people have to get engaged in that day in a serious conversation, both among themselves and with their political leaders. So I would ask you today, if you haven't already, to sign up for our bi-monthly email. You get 2 emails a month from us that'll give you the update on Focus the Nation. Go to our website, focusthenation.org, and when you go home tonight, think about the good time that you had and the enjoyable time watching the music, but recognize that this is a time when history is calling on each of us to step up and be leaders. We really have to do that. You can't sort of go home and go, that was kind of a pleasant picnic. I mean, we really, all of us have to think about what it is that we can do. And I've been talking about global warming for years now, and at the end of my talks, I never really knew what to tell people. I'd say, what should I do? Change my light bulbs? Well, yes, but somehow that just doesn't add up to the scale of the problem. But Focus the Nation does. If what you can tell people to do is involve your school or your kids' school, or the school you teach at, or your church or your synagogue, get them as an institution to sign up for Focus the Nation, do the education in your community, get people engaged. That really can have the kind of force, along with these concerts and other grassroots activities that are happening around the country, to really change the direction of the nation. So Focus the Nation is an easy way to plug in. So I'd ask you tonight, when you go home, go to our website, focusthenation.org, check it out, and then in the next couple of days, send an email or a phone to 5 people that you know. Say, you know, I did go to a great picnic the other night, and it was fun, and I did learn about this cool effort called Focus Nation, and you need to get involved. And you can't take no for an answer. You just can't take no for an answer.